very quick examples video. So this one is based on questions that have multiple index laws that need to be used. So as a quick reminder, I've put all the index laws here for you. What I suggest you do is put a sticky note or something that you can have beside you at all times when you're working. So not just a page in your book, something that you can move when you change pages. So these are the index laws. So if we go look at our examples now. Now it says apply the relevant index laws to the following. And so if you can see here, it's a whole mess. So what we need to do is let's start with A. Okay, so we've got -3, then in brackets 2a cubed b to the power 4, and outside those brackets is a squared. And then we've also got a squared. So we're not going to worry about that -3 or that a squared. So I'm just going to write them -3 times a squared. We're not going to deal with them just yet. All right, now I'm going to deal with that stuff inside the brackets. So I'm going to look and go, that 2 doesn't have a power, so I'm going to give it its 1. All right, so now I'm just going to put in brackets to remind us that's what we're doing right now. We're going to go 2, and I'm going to go 1 times 2 because that's what's outside the brackets. A, 3 times 2. Okay, that's what's outside the brackets. B, 4 times 2. All right, so now we've done everything in there. We've still got that -3 times a squared times. Now we can simplify this. We've got 2 to the power of 2, a to the power of 6, and b to the power of 8. Now if I look at this, it can be simplified further. Okay, I can actually go here and go, well, I've got -3 times a squared. I'm going to evaluate that 2 squared, which is just 2 times 2, so it becomes 4. A to the power of 6 and b to the 8. Now if you look here, a and a are the same base. If we look at index law 1, it tells us if they're the same base and being multiplied, we can add them. The other one we can do is, see this 3 and 4, we can multiply them like normal. Whoops, sorry. So you've got -3 times 4. I'm just putting it in brackets to remind me that's a separate thing again. I'm going to have a, and I'm going to go 2 plus 6. Okay, and that b to the 8. And because b is kind of solo, nothing else is going to happen to him. All right, and our last thing is just fix this up. So -3 times 4 will give us -12. We'll have a to the power of 8 and b to the power of 8. So you just got to logically go, what can I use first? And here we had to use index law 4 to do it. Start off, because we dealt with the brackets first. And that's coming back to our BODMAS as well. Do the brackets first. So if we go to our next one, which is B, we've got in brackets 2m cubed n and all to the power of 3 over m to the 4. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to deal with that top part of my fraction first. I'm not touching that m to the 4 just yet. All right, so put your power on anything, so you 1 on anything that doesn't have a power, and then we go ahead and we start our multiplying of powers. So we'll have 2 to the 1 times 3, m to the 3 times 3, and n to the 1 times 3. Okay, so then let's simplify that. So m to the 4 still hasn't changed. So we'll have 2 to the power of 3, m to the 9, and n to the 3. We can simplify this to get rid of the bottom. Now we're just going to use index law 2, which tells us when division is involved and we've got the same basis, take away the powers. So here, the 2 to the 3 is going to stay because there's no other basis similar to it. All right, but look at this m. We've got an m on top and an m on the bottom. Now, they're the similar basis. So I'm going to put my m, we're going 9, take away 4, and our n to the 3 because there's no similar basis. And the last thing you have to do is just simply simplify that we've done that subtraction. So you've got 2 to the 3, m to the 5, n to the 3, and bam, it's done. Okay, and so that's your final answer. And you don't have to do anything further unless it tells you to, which it hopefully shouldn't. Now let's do one last example. And this one here has a lot going on. This has got index law 5 in it. And then once we've expanded that, it has more. So let's just start with using index law 5 and doing the first set of brackets. All right, so I'm going to go put a power 1 on anything that does not have a power already on it. Okay, so I'm going to end up with x 2 times 3, y 3 times 3, over c, which will be 1 times 3. And this is all going to be multiplied by the other set of brackets. So we'll have x to the 1 times 4, c to the 1 times 4, y to the 1 times 4. Okay, let's simplify that into one less messy thing. So we got x will be to the power of 6, y to the 9, and c to the 3, times x to the power of 4, c to the power of 4, and y to the power of 4. Now, what we can do now is look at it and go, we can't use index law 2 yet. So I need to actually look and go, let's get this all with the adding of the powers, because you can really just make it all one big fraction with the times up the top and the bottom. So we really end up with x, so 6 plus 4, because there's an x on top on both. Alright, we've got a y to the 9, but there's no other y's on top. Then we've got c to the 4, because there's no other c's on top. Then we've got down the bottom, c to the 3 and y to the 4. Now we can turn around and use index law 2, which is subtraction. So I'm just going to quickly simplify this so it's a little less messy. Okay, and this is where we do our taking away of powers. Now, there's no x on the bottom, but there is on the top. So that x to the 10 is going to stay. Then we've got y, and there's a 10 on the top and a 4 on the bottom. So we're going to go 10 take away 4. And then c will be 4 take away 3. The last thing you simply have to do, and I've run out of space for, so I'm going to write it over to the left, is we're still going to have our x to the 10. Okay, y and 10 take away 4 is just 6. And c, 4 take away 3 is just 1. But you don't have to write that. And that is your final answer. So there's a lot of work to get there. Now, there is going to be a similar type of question on the test. So it's worth practicing, even just going, do the brackets first, do the top of the fraction first, then the bottom. And just keep that little sheet of index laws next to you. Alright, thanks for watching. Good luck.